Hello and welcome to our program Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where we educate and inspire on various topics around healthy living and quality lifestyle. Now today for our first guest we have Mark Corazzo, who's a business consultant and coach, and this is a series of positive psychology, and today the topic is relationships. Welcome, Mark.
Welcome, Linda.
How important are relationships to our well-being?
They're critical, Linda. In fact, it's impossible to overstate the importance of relationships. There's some suggestion out there that if you have somebody that you can ring at 3 a.m. in the morning to tell your problems to, you're probably going to live longer than somebody who doesn't. We also have some Harvard research saying that people with the strongest social support groups are the happiest. So the need for strong interpersonal connections is very deep in all of us, and people that have that generally have better well-being and a happier life.
And how can we improve our relationships?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to express kindness to people is a great way to not only get more relationships, but to improve the ones we have. It sounds fairly obvious, but there's good proof out there that that does help. And not only does it make that person receiving it feel good, there's evidence suggesting that it makes ourselves feel even better. So that express gratitude to people for what they do and the roles they play in our lives. We too often overlook that. And I think just, if we can, being a happy and optimistic person tends to endear ourselves to people. We know that people are more likely to want to be around us when our mood is high than when it's not.
And would you have any advice on how we can improve in that regard, in the area of relationships?
Well, in our own personal, intimate relationships, it's pretty much the same thing. Firstly, spend more time with your partner. We all live very busy lives and we don't get that time together as much as we should. There again, express gratitude, simple moments throughout the day where you can say, thank you for doing that for me. That really helps, and of course you're more likely to get that in return. Be very positive in your language. There has been some studies done which suggests that you should use positive language. The ratio that has been suggested is for every one negative you may say to your closest, that you should say 3 positive things without sounding not authentic about it. So they're my tips about personal relationships, Linda.
What about low moments in our lives, Mark?
Yes, those real low ebbs in our life where we're going through extreme trauma or distress. I sort of go back to a long-held saying that a problem shared is a problem halved, and that seems to be borne out by the scientific proof that we have. We know that cancer sufferers, for instance, are more likely to have reduced anxiety and better prospects of recovery if they're part of a support group. And of course, when you are at those low moments, there's very practical advice that your relationships can provide you. It might be somebody to take you to hospital or somebody to find some valuable information for you. So just in any stage of your life, but particularly in those low ebbs, relationships are critical.
Very true. And what about then in the workplace? How does it play? How would good relationships play out there?
Well, we spend so much of our time at the workplace, don't we? And so much of our relationships and friendships are sort of born out of time at work. Yes, so important that we have a workplace where people socialise, and they've proven that that adds to a better performing and more highly energetic team when people socialise. And from the point of view of the managers and leaders, I think it's really important that they express praise to their staff and spend time understanding the particular personalities that they deal with every day. It really helps.
Mm-hmm. And would there be any other tips that you could give our viewers apart from all of that you've shared so far?
Well, I did say expressing gratitude for relationships. It's going to be a word you're going to hear a lot in the positive psychology series because it's just so important. So I'd reiterate that. And the other thing I think is very important in relationships is to be open and be authentic. I think we all have an antenna for people that aren't being that way, and I think they're my sort of two closing tips for people.
And Mark, would you have any more tips for our viewers?
I think I'd like to leave them with a point I've already said before. It's so important to express gratitude to our friends and to our connections for the many, many things they do for us on a daily basis. And it's so easy to overlook those things, even the things that we might think are routine. That to me is very important. Also connected is to express praise for things that are done well, everybody likes to hear that, as well as they love to hear the word thanks. I think we also need to be aware that we, in a sense, have a bit of a social duty in our friendships and connections, and that comes from a principle that we know called social contagion, which basically directs that our mood tends to follow the mood of the person expressing the highest or strongest emotion, either positive or negative. So if we come into a room and we're very happy, then it's likely that the people we're with will also become happy. If the alternative is true and we come into a room not in a very good mood, on a bit of a downer, that's going to relate to other people and they're therefore going to share that with others in their day. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I accept that there are points of our lives when we are very down, but there are also occasions where we might be able to get through our day without expressing them to others and making sure we stay really in an upbeat mood.
Thank you, Mark. And for more about keeping an upbeat mood in relationships and positive psychology and Mark Carazzo, then please go to our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. Welcome back, and now we have Con Nichols, property advisor and wellbeing advocate. And today's the third in our series about improving your environment to meet your lifestyle. Welcome back, Con.
Thank you for having me back. It's been a pleasure always to come show.
Today you're going to talk about more of the financial side of things, I believe.
Definitely, Linda. Look, the financial benefits is one of the biggest advantages in this particular category. And just imagine, mum and dad, they've got a massive house, all the kids have moved out, and the grandparents also moved on as well. And there you go, mum and dad, they've got a massive 5-bedroom property that literally, they hardly even go to any of the rooms apart from themselves. So by bringing the property down into a different level and finding a smaller property, that gives them the flexibility and the ability that they can gain financial benefit by having more equity in the house. Now, the same token also, if they don't earn any money on it, obviously there's a lot more pots to play around with. And of course, it's always in people's mind, now that we've got this extra cash, we can actually help the kids to buy themselves a house, or maybe one of the kids is getting married, so we'll help with a wedding, or you know what, that particular, the holiday we always wanted to go with the hubby, now we never get the chance to do it, but you know what, now that we've got the extra cash, let's enjoy life to the fullest. And we found out that a lot of people are taking this massive advantage to do the things that they could not afford previously with the things they can do right now.
So you'd say that with the lifestyle, that means they can travel more, they can, or whatever they...
Definitely. There's a lot of examples out there in the last few months that actually I've dealt with people out there that I actually downsize to a smaller home. And, for example, going to a townhouse, a 2-bedroom townhouse or a 3-bedroom townhouse, a study sort of thing, that gives them still not as much space as before, that it was pointless, but it gives them more controlled environment on the living aspect. However, it gives them the extra money to get the holidays, to go and buy a new car, maybe even buy another investment property. Or, at the end of the day, it depends on everybody's circumstances. There could be opportunity for them to reinvest in the share market, or it can be any possible investment proposal that can be offered for them by their own financial advisor.
Oh, so you'd have people asking about that, and as you say, people could go to their own financial advisor to get the details of that. So what other benefits financially would there be from the going into a smaller? Is there a change in the? Can they go to an area where maybe they're spending less on transport to places, or does it kick into it? Have you found?
Definitely. Look, Melbourne's growing, as we all know. I mean, for example, if you had a big house in Malvern, argument's sake, and you got your typical California bungalow, Victorian and so on, that you've got your 4 bedrooms, your double lock-up garage, your living areas, And there's a lot of space you don't need, right? Now, that property, let's say it sells for $3 million, argument's sake. Now, they can go find a property or a townhouse, let's say areas like Bentley or Bentley East, or even, for 3-bedroom townhouse, brand new, mind you, which means low maintenance, of course, that they can spend between 1.2 to 1.3. So technically, they've already got $1.4 to $1.6 million extra money that they can utilize it for their own good. Either they can go and create a new lifestyle by going and travel the world, or like I said before previously, or in a lot of cases, people do buy an investment property, and depends on the situations, on what they are eligible to get as far as the pension is concerned, and so on. And let's face it, a lot of people they're very flexible with the income. So some other people may require the additional income to live them the extra 20, 30 years, argument's sake. So, and what a great way to do is by having another outlet of income by having an investment property.
As a sort of a first step in that regard, or a thing to look at in the financial area, what would you first suggest to our viewers?
Great question, Linda. I always say, when it comes to that question, do not rush. There's no hurry. At the end of the day, there's so many properties out there that you can choose and be more strategic about what you're going to do. For example, let's say you want to buy another investment property. Now let's locate the area. What area suits you and your needs. Now, we all know the further you go out in Melbourne, the cheaper they are. Yes, there are advantages and disadvantages. The biggest advantage obviously is the economical part, because they're a lot more cheaper and more affordable. The disadvantage will be more further out for traveling. But once again, remember, the people they're going to buy an investment property, they don't have to travel there back and forwards, because it's a pure investment purposes. Let's call it a financial a tool. That's what it is, or a vehicle. So in this case here, example, there's a lot of properties out there that there's many people out there that sell new homes. My personal experience with a situation like that, find out where is your land, find out if that particular area that you're going to buy, what is the growth, what are the surround amenities. Because remember, the golden rule in real estate is always location, location, location. So it doesn't matter where you are. For example, let's pick an area like Murder, for argument's sake. Murder the last couple of years has been on a boom. They've even got a brand new railway station, for example, and that particular area or region has gone skyrocket. Now, we've got schools, we've got childcare centres, we've got nursing homes, we've got shopping centres, and now we've got railway line. That's a big plus for a potential tenant to rent that particular property. And at the end of the day, when you buy a rental property, it's the return that counts. B, that you're going to find a property, it's going to be newer property, which means you're going to eliminate all the maintenance. Because if we go back, for example, on an older home, you're still going to have the maintenance and you've got to look after it. So definitely there's a lot of people out there that can assist, but once again, make sure to pick the right person, and by doing so, interview them. Go around and have a look what they offer and compare it with someone else. Very simple.
Thank you, Con. And for more information on Con Nichols and improving your environment to meet your lifestyle, then please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. Welcome back, and we have Dr. Zara Chelik back with us today, our integrative health and wellness expert, and she's talking to us about detoxing your life. So, Dr. Zara, what is detoxing your life?
Absolutely. So usually when we talk about detoxing life, people usually associate detoxification with a juice cleanse or a fasting experience that may try in their own daily lives. But it is more than that. when I talk about detoxing live, I'm referring to being mindful at mind, body, spiritual, environmental level, and even more. Because what we think, our thought process, what we say, is also contributing to how we feel, and also plays a role also what energy we create and radiate out in our environment, within ourselves and also in our workspace and with our loved ones. And of course, there's the detoxification of the physical body, which is, detoxing and giving a break to your organs. And, again, when it comes to detoxing at physical level, it is by individual. So I will encourage people to see what suits their needs, and to work on detoxing the physical body at that level. But having said that though, our body, our organs are always detoxing for us, but it is important that we support our detoxification organs. And some of the organs that are involved in detoxification is our liver, our gut health, our gut itself, the digestive tract, our skin, skin pores, if they're open with sweating, and through the sweating we are also detoxing. So body is very intelligent at what it does on its own, but it is a great idea, something that I suggest people to really clean the skin clean. The skin pores are clean, so then the body is detoxing efficiently through the skin pores as well. It is also a good idea to pay attention how your digestive health is performing, like we did in our last interview, as well as how the liver is doing, and also are we having the right foods to take the load off the liver. Because liver loaders could be such as alcohol or deep fatty fried foods. They can sort of add burden to the liver, which means the detoxification can become sluggish because liver is involved in physical detoxification process. And there is of course the lymphatic system when it comes to detoxing at the physical level, and the lymphatic system can need a bit of that boost time to time. So getting a nice regular lymphatic drainage massage can also help and support the lymphatic system as well as the physical detoxification system as well. And there's of course the environment that we work in, the environment that we live in, and we pay attention to, do we have enough greens in our environment to really help detox the air? Do we open our windows regularly to detox and clean the environment that we live in? Cosmetic products, personal care products come into play a role when it comes to detoxing our lives at environmental level. So the perfume that we put on, shampoos, deodorants, things like that, do they contain certain ingredients? They can disrupt our endocrine system. It can put a burden on the hormones and create that internal imbalance in the hormonal health. So that those will be the things that I will recommend people to pay attention when it comes to detoxing environment, as well as our cleaning products at home, in our kitchen, for our bathrooms. They could contain, toxins, even though we think that we're actually cleaning, it can actually then backfire on us as through the inhalation and through contact with the skin as well. But I always encourage, which is the big one, is to really pay attention to the mind, our thought process, not to hold resentment and to clear that, to balance the mind, and also not to judge, criticize, including ourselves, as well as not to be infatuated with others. So that the whole thing can create imbalance in the mind and also in the individual as well.
When you say infatuated with others, can you clarify, give us a little bit of clarity on that?
Absolutely. So it's like, you like someone so very much, you only see one side of them and you just admire that one side of them so much that you instantly want to become that individual. You want to live like that individual, and then that makes you not authentic because you're not living your authentic self, you're not being your authentic self, and that can create imbalance in the mind and put us more in the immanent mind, and the transcendent mind can become imbalanced with the, in relation to our immanent mind. So we want a good balance there, and to really, as much as we can, to balance the mind, to operate from that transcendent mind, that creative mind, that authentic, objective mind.
So Zara, what would you say would be your tip, your top tip for our audience to take with them today?
Absolutely. So paying attention to mind, body, our thought process, our nutrition, our environment is very crucial. When it comes to, I just want to add in the nutrition because I didn't say too much on that one. It is important that we take care of our liver and our gut. My favorite one is actually beetroot juice or beetroot salad, and also raw aloe vera. I consume that particularly personally myself. So the beetroot really helps to support the gut health, to move flush toxins out, as well as taking care of the liver. So the other thing will be pay attention to our clinic products at home, be very mindful of what our clinic products can actually create internally in our environment, and also what effect it can have on the external environment for the other livings in the ocean as well.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and detoxing your life, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll see Dr. Zara back next time on how to eliminate fatigue. Now we'll finish up for today and we'll see you back next week with interesting guests and topics.